Hello, thanks for joining me. My name is Mike Gendron. I'm a partner with CFO Insight. Today we're going to talk about process. You'll remember that is one of the 5 main categories that we introduced in the concept of cashing out at full value. Those 5: people, process, plant, product, and market. So let's focus on process today. I'm going to break that into 2 pieces. Our initial discussion will talk about content, process content. The next phase will be application of those processes. But first, let's talk about some background. Process. Now, thinking about your business and cashing out at what I call full value, why bother looking at, examining, thoroughly reviewing your business processes? Well, quite simply, your costs are too high if you don't examine your processes. Can't be simpler. You're going to improve your competitiveness if you improve your processes. Now, I want to back you up even further and talk about your investment. People costs. The largest single component of your spending, most likely. That includes payroll, health insurance, training, travel, taxes, supervision, all kinds of things that you spend money on every day, every week, and they may be working ineffectively. So I want to back you up and focus you on processes and procedures. When was the last time you examined your business processes? Was it before iPads were introduced? Was it before the CRM software was introduced? I mean, how often do you look at your business processes and understand that every month, every year, the competitive environment can change, So if your processes were developed 1 or 2 years ago, are you taking advantage of things like the iPad, the iPhone, web apps? Can you imagine that? That would simplify your business, make you more competitive, and increase your profitability. So that's why you look at it. That's why you examine your processes. Now, let me ask you a question. If in the past 5 years in this tough economy, have you had any reduction in force? RIF. Reduced your employment. If you have you changed the way you run your business? Or have you continued to press on with the same processes regardless of the resources available? Well, that's a problem. Actually, that's an opportunity. That's an opportunity for you. What I'd like to do is get you to think about, what if you took 10% of your workforce out? I'm not suggesting you do. What I'm suggesting is think about your company if you took 10% out, and what would you do differently? Would you eliminate some procedures? Would you try and improve processes using apps, the iPad, the computer differently? That's what we're challenging on. I can tell you it's not easy. Sometimes it requires capital investment and you may not have cash available, but that's okay. I want you to think about it. Challenge yourself to look for those improved procedures. I will tell you that there will be a lot of resistance in your organization. When I was a puppy in business, 30 years ago, people would say, reduce the head count, let's move forward. And I would immediately say, can't be done. I can't do the same thing with fewer people. Well, their point to me was, well, don't do the same thing. Couldn't be simpler. Don't do the same thing. Change what you're doing. Well, now I understand that. So there always will be resistance. And my challenge to you is to look at your procedures, look at your business process, and find better ways of doing it. What if I were to tell you that 20 to 30% of your processes could be eliminated? 20 to 30%. Based on input from the people that actually do them every day, every week, they can find ways to improve your business processes. Well, in this quest for cashing out at full value, process is a key component. So let's talk about how you eliminate the waste and have the opportunity to redeploy that resource, that personnel resource, that very expensive personnel resource, to a better opportunity to improve your profitability. Let's say it's 20 or 30% waste. How do you do that? Well, first of all, you have to look at your business and understand what are the priorities. What will give you the greatest benefit? So look at your processes and pick something that's valuable to you. Maybe it's an R&D process where you can accelerate a product introduction by 6 months. What will that do for you? Will that improve your competitiveness? Now, the question is, how do you do it? Well, you flowchart it, and we'll get into that a little bit more in the next session. And you challenge your people to say, what do we need to do to improve the business? In the past, just talking with the people in businesses, I've discovered things that are astounding. Astounding. I asked somebody, a credit manager, a few years ago in one of the companies I was a CFO at, I said, how do you help me improve profitability? Her response was, I can't. My job is credit management. And for the longest time, I kept pressing. This is over a matter of weeks, maybe a few months. How do you help me run the business better? And she said, Mike, you don't understand. I'm the credit manager. I can't change profitability. Well, we probed, and my question to her was, if Santa Claus came to town and let you change anything you wanted, what would you do? She said, I'd reduce the number of credit memos. Well, we actually pursued that, and we actually reduced the number of credit memos by 90% because we found our processes were wrong. 90% reduction in the workload. What did that allow her to do? Well, that allowed her to dig more into credit applications, new customers. So instead of perhaps a 5-day turnaround, we had a 1-day turnaround. Is that better? Yes, it is. Another example, warranty work. Touring one of the factories, I stopped to see a room filled with what appeared to be derelict equipment. It was all our equipment. My question to the person responsible for the room, well, what is all this stuff? And she said, well, it's warranty equipment. Wow, a lot of broken stuff. Oh, yeah. Well, why is that? Well, this one part breaks all the time. And I said, have we talked to the engineers about it? And she said, it's not my job. Not my job. Well, what we were doing is sending out equipment that broke in a very short time. The equipment came back into our shop, and months later, after it was repaired, we sent it out again. Not competitive. And it's because our business process was flawed. That is, we knew information, and we didn't pass it on to the right people. So my challenge to you is, look at your business process. And when I say look at your business process, think about the value chain that you have from inbound logistics, through operations, outbound logistics, sales, marketing, service, all of those. And don't forget the support functions, finance, IT, human resources. Each one of those areas has the potential to improve your profit, not just by eliminating waste, but by redeploying that resource to a more profitable outcome, a more competitive business. Not a bad thing. And it doesn't cost you money because you're using today's resources to do it. So when we think about cashing out at full value, I'd like you to challenge yourself to look at your processes, prioritize them from most valuable to least valuable, and challenge the people in that function to improve the process. You'll be surprised what happens. You'll be more competitive. You'll make more money. And surprisingly, your people will be happier. Thanks for joining me. Our next session will talk about process application. So once we've refined these processes and eliminated non-value added and documented them, then we're going to apply them. Thanks for joining me.